Hey guys, before we get to the Creature Caravan video, I just want to remind you to like, subscribe, ring the bell. That way you get a notification of all our videos when they come out.
Make sure you're watching us on Whiskey Wednesdays, where we go live Wednesdays from our houses and we cover games from the ground up. If you like this playmat, check out Felt Hector. They sent this mat out to us to help sponsor us, and we appreciate them.
Yeah, we've been using it in a lot of our videos, and we really enjoy them. We'll see you there. Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
This is a Board Game Rundown, and today we are going to review Creature Caravan from Red Raven Games. We are playing Bob's Kickstarter edition.
It is.
So components may vary.
Components may vary upon purchase.
on what you buy, retail or otherwise. Bobby.
Yes.
How do we play Creature Caravan?
That's a great question, Tim. So in Creature Caravan, you're going to have a handful of cards. You're going to be rolling all your dice, and play is done simultaneous. And then you do get one reroll. If you don't like what you rolled, you can pick them all your dice up and reroll them again, but then you are stuck with what you roll. Once you're done rolling your dice, you're going to be placing them on your board and doing those actions. So there's different things you can do. So you can place, let's start down here. You can go do a trade. So if I put at least a 2 or higher here, it's going to allow me to make a trade at the market. So to make trades at the market, I would reference this little market board up here. I'm going to pay the appropriate amount of money. So if I've got 3 money I want to spend, I could spend 3 money, put a little cube on this top row of the 3. That's going to gain me 3 bread plus the 2. It's going to be 5 pieces of bread. I'd gain 5 pieces of bread, and I'm going to add them to my little inventory over here. After you do that, you're going to keep placing all your dice. You can do things like placing die here to draw cards. You have icons like this where you can draw 3 cards and keep 1. So you would look at the top 3 and keep 1 to put in your hand, discarding the rest. These guys here are going to allow you to either collect even more bread or to collect one of these bags. And the bags are good because you can use them to also trade them in at the market, or sometimes the cards in your hand are going to have bags as their cost. And this is where the creatures in the Creature Caravan are going to come into play. So you're going to be recruiting people to your caravan by paying the bread cost located up in the top. So I would return those pieces of bread, add this creature to my caravan, and now I'm going to have this new ability that it says on the card. Some of them will have action spots where I could then place dice on them to do the actions that it says. Some of them will help me with attacking. So why would you have to attack things? That's a good question, Tim.
Yeah.
So let's say I had done some moving and put some dice up here to move some spaces, and I'm moving my little guy along the board, and boom, I hit this little circle and X spot. That's like a threat spot. You're going to get one of these zombie guys. Roar. And while you're on one of those threat spots, you can choose to attack one of the zombies that you get. So like we said, I could place a 6 here. That's going to get me some attack power. And let's say I put a 3 down here. So I would add that all up. 6 plus 3 is 9, plus the extra 1 from the rat swarm is a total of 10. I would take one of my cubes, place it on the top 10 spot up there on the combat area. And that's going to be worth points at the end of the game. If you see anywhere in this half flag, those are going to be victory points at the end of the game. And then that lets me get rid of one of these ember zombies off of my board, which is good because those are negative points at the end of the game. And typically you can't attack a zombie unless you're on a threat spot. There are cards that allow you to bypass that rule. Reading the card will explain the card. But then at the end of the turn, you're going to be sliding all these cubes down that are in the market and on the attack board. If any cube does reach the symbol at the, that it's on there, all the cubes that are on that row slide all the way down, and that spot is locked off, and nobody can go to that spot for the rest of the game. You're going to take one of your camps and put them out here. And then, because that's important, because if you don't move and you stay here, that's not going to trigger that spot again. So whether you're on a spot that is giving you like bonuses, like resources, like this fruit or these chests, you're only going to get them the one time if you don't have a camp on there. So that is important to keep track. Plus, that's also the game timer. You have 12 of those. After 12 turns, the game is going to be over. You are trying to make your way eastern bound, I guess.
Yeah, sure. And you do that because also there's dice spots up at the top of your board for movement.
Correct.
You didn't hit those.
Yep, sorry. Yeah, up here. So you take 2 dice to put them up here, 1 or higher, and that's going to let you cross any type of or enter into any type of terrain, whether it's mountains or lake or what have you, or it's going to be a 3 or higher to move onto a regular plains. And then the cloud icons on the board, those do count as plains. Some cards will reference them. There is these white towers. If you end your turn on those, they're going to let you draw extra cards at the end of your turn. These fruit are very important. If you place a fruit on a person in your caravan, that's going to make that dice placement down to a 1. Now I can put any die there to activate that to draw to gain a coin. So that's going to be super helpful to do that. The base edition just comes with, just like Tim was saying, this is like the collector's edition for the Kickstarter. These wooden components are upgraded. The metal coins are upgraded, but it does come with, cardboard
punch-out
chits,
tokens.
punch-out
Look
tokens.
good.
They're pretty standard.
Yeah.
It also does have some of the extra. You get these items. There's like these items that you can get in here, and like they'll have requirements. Requires shy, so I have to have a person. They'll all have like different descriptions, whether it's tiny, deadly, shy, magic, things like that. So this requires shy, so I would have to put that on a shy individual, and now he's just got an extra bonus for whenever he triggers. And that's, the basic rundown. You're trying to, like I said, get to the end. You get bonus points if you make it all the way to the end city over there. Otherwise, you're gonna get points for how far you make it down the track. Each different camp location you have. And then you'll get points for the half flags on there, plus the points from the markets and the attack track.
Yeah, and sometimes your critter cards will have like if you've got multipliers. If you meet these,
if you have 4 of these, get 8 points, things like that.
Right. Yep. So lots of different ways you can score. There are also these treasure icons, right, which then allows you to draw
get
one
treasures,
of those,
and they get you coins and points typically, or like other types of various goods. Of course, these are all going to be coins. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So lots of ways to kind of score points and do things in the game.
Yep. Yeah. Simultaneous play, so that's super nice. Right. Everybody's rolling their dice at the same time. Tim, we played this a couple days ago. What did you think about it?
Well, like any Ryan Laukat game, I love the art. I love the vibe. The deluxe components, they're top notch. They look great. The synergy with the way that you can like play those cards and build up your engine, and you become very asymmetrical very quickly.
Right.
Is really cool. Really neat. We both went and we kind of took different paths and different, kind of utilizing some different strategies. And I felt like the game was still really competitive. There was a couple times where I couldn't get this dang board to fire off for me the way I needed it to. But but then later in the game, I started getting some of those cards.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right?
There's a big deck. This is half the cards. There's literally a deck twice
and
as tall.
Maybe if you don't have a lot of attack cards options, maybe try to avoid some of them spots, which I wasn't necessarily trying to do. I was just kind of plowing ahead.
Right.
Which is fine. That's not I didn't like this. But yeah, so there's so many different ways you can score points, right? Because you can try to build up on this board, in these boards. I was building up a pretty good engine, and I was trying to I had this one character that I needed all the tags.
Right. If you had a bunch of tags, you got 12 points for that one.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, doing that. There's some dudes that'll be worth like negative points, things like that as well. And then, yes, there's people that are like multipliers, like 2 points for each machine, or whatever, right? Yep. So lots of really interesting ways that you can go. I am excited to play this again because of all those different options, and then just seeing the different kinds of cards and the different characters and the different things they do, and looking at like, because I think I made it about this far, and I think you made it about this far when we played.
Yeah, we're pretty close. I think you were like at 12 or 14, and I was at like 10 or 12.
Yeah, like we were close. I was a little bit further ahead, but it was like, holy smokes, how in the heck? Like, what do you got to be doing to get all the way down there? I know you had a card that let you like do
the
two
horse
moves.
Let you move too. The airship would have been helpful.
Sure.
Right, because that lets you fly over. You can fly over a bunch of stuff. +2 of flying. Yeah, so you get all types of things.
So there was, there's some stuff like.
There's some things in there. You just need to draw more cards.
Yeah.
Drawing cards is good.
But it felt like, I always felt like there was stuff I could do and stuff was interesting. Because, at the very least, if you have ones, you can draw cards.
Right.
And you can always move if you play 2 of them, know. So I felt like there was lots of options, lots of variety, lots of stuff for replayability. The game looks great.
I think you could play probably, so the base game I think plays 4 out of the box, but if you had kickstarted it plays up to 6.
Okay.
And so I think that they will have that available like to add on later on, like if you didn't get the Kickstarter one. But be able to play 6 players, I bet you could play this under an hour.
Yeah, and I don't think it adds much to the time because it's all simultaneous.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, Bob, well, what did you think of Creature Caravan?
I'm glad you asked him. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I did get the Kickstarter version because these coins are beautiful. Like I really like these Ember Zombies.
Yeah.
Like I said, 6 players for an hour. Simultaneous play, like that's, checking a lot of boxes. I really enjoyed like the tableau building and trying to get those synergies, right? Like I was trying to draw a bunch of cards. I had a couple of people that were letting me draw extra cards. So I was trying to sift through and make sure, okay, this guy takes 3 giants, I get extra money. This one I need, 3 delvers, stuff like that. So I was trying to make sure that I had all the right tags on them and get them out there. And then there's ones that give you extra dice too. Like some of the monsters will give you more dice to roll. It does come with wooden dice. That is probably my biggest.
But they look cool. They got the shiny pips.
The shiny pips on them, which is a little bit of a savior. But like, I don't know, when I roll dice, like I want to feel a little bit of heft. It don't necessarily be metal, but like I don't know. I just like the feel of plastic dice. Maybe because I've been rolling them for so long.
Sure.
That the wooden dice feel a little light for my liking, but they are a little bit smaller, so they do fit on the board nice. But yeah, that's probably my biggest complaint about
the wooden dice.
Is the wooden dice and the whole thing. But I really liked how, you could really focus on just having a coin and bag building engine and just keep market placing. And even if you don't get very far, like, and you're really avoiding those, not really doing much fighting at all, and just avoiding a lot of those spaces and just, visiting the market like every turn and just trying to, sell money. Because I had a thing where I was, getting 3 coins from one thing, and then another thing, let me copy it, get 3 coins from that too. So I was, by the end, I was gaining a ton of money. Yeah, and that's just a good alternate way of trying to win. So
yeah. Like I had a dude that whenever I moved on to a lake space, I got 3 bread. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he also had an action that made like it was very cheap to move on to the water spaces, right? So I could put a low die on there, move on to water, get a bunch of bread, then I could start playing other critters. So like that worked out really well early on for me when I had a couple water spaces chained together.
Right.
I was like, okay, yeah, that's awesome. Well, I guess we need to rate this game. Here at the Board Game Rundown. We rate them from 0 to 10. We do use 0.5s, and we will average our score together, and that's what you will see on BGG or perhaps Discord if you decide to visit us there. Which you should. I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
Since this was your game.
Okay.
This is a very solid 8 for me.
Okay.
I could see it going up, and I really don't see it going down.
Yeah.
Again, kind of one of the things you said. Here's the awesome thing. I had a great time playing this at 2 players, and I feel like I have a great time playing it at 5 or 6 players because it doesn't really increase
the playtime.
Yep. And so a game that can do that, and you're building a very satisfying engine, and you're drawing so many cards, like you just have options. You just need to lean into the options that are on your cards.
Right.
That's kind of what I will say.
You can have a hope to try to go in there, but if you don't draw those cards, don't force it. Play with the cards you're dealt. Play
the hand you're dealt, and you'll have a much better time.
Yep.
How about you, Bob?
I agree with you. It's an 8. Anytime you can play a 6-player game in less than an hour, simultaneous play, multiple paths to victory.
Yeah.
That's solid. So.
Yeah, lots of good stuff in here. And again, right, like great art, cool looking characters, real quirky looking creatures and everything, which is the same stuff through like all of Red Raven games.
Right.
I think it helps personally if you like Ryan Laukat's art style, which I do. I guess there's probably people out there that don't.
I'm sure that's the thing about art being,
it's very subjective, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, really fun, very simple, very straightforward.
Wait.
Okay, let's average our 8s together, combine them, and that will give us
an 8.
An 8.
Whew, glad I have my calculator out.
Man, close call.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, Bob, I'm really glad that you backed this.
Me too.
I got to play it, and I really enjoyed it. So it's really good.
Yep.
Also, keep in mind, if you have the collector's edition, there might be promo cards taped to the inside of your box.
Yes. So search the whole thing. Yeah. There are a couple of cards taped to the inside there. So that was pretty cool.
All right, man. You got anything else before we wrap?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay. Right on. Well, this has been Creature Caravan, and for the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob.
We'll see you next time.